Okay, we're back. Welcome back, everybody. Uh, First, I'd like to apologize for my voice. I got sick somehow. Don't know. Anyways, apologies. There we go. All right, moving on. Week 2. Welcome back. Super excited that everyone's back. And yeah. So this week we're just gonna kind of cover a VM creation and the prep that goes into it. It's really simple. I say that I did have some issues. However, I have built a README, like a markdown file, that kind of illustrates how you can get around some of those problems. And if you have any issues, you're always welcome to find me at any of these places. Okay? Sick. Let's keep going. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? First and foremost, we're going to talk about the ethics and rules of engagement when you're doing this type of stuff, right? Um, People don't like getting hacked, right? That's a pretty valid thing, I'd say, right? So you got to do it ethically, and when you are going to hack someone, there needs to be some rules and some contracts in place to kind of illustrate what you can do and what you can't. Um, so yeah, why a lab, right? We're going to talk about that, what we're doing in this lab, the tools you're going to need, and some steps. And then once we've got it booted up for the first time and configured, we're gonna make sure that everything's talking the way it should. Okay? Cool. So first and foremost, rules of engagement and ethics, right? Everything we're doing on this channel is gonna be for educational purposes only. The biggest reason I'm doing this channel is to kind of help myself reinforce these ideas and ways of doing things. And of course to hopefully help you guys along the way as well, right? So you've got two types of hacking. Really, there's three. There's like a gray hat, right? We're not really going to get into gray hat though. The biggest differences between a white hat and a black hat is whether they're ethical or not, right? So white hat would be ethical, black hat not so much. And your biggest thing for a rule of engagement is you have to have permission, right? So hack the box, perfect example. You have permission, right? Unless you have a contract written out with me, you don't have permission, right? We'll use that as an example, right? So, your rules of engagement, right? Typically, it's a really lengthy contract, and it's really to protect both sides, right? So you're gonna have a scope in there, which is gonna help to illustrate what your pen testers can and can't do, and that's really your biggest thing, right? So the Security Plus um, courses that I plan to do on this channel will illustrate ethics and rules of engagement a lot better for all practical purposes. Wow, this is really all we're going to be doing. It's just more so for me to tell you guys, hey, this isn't for you to just go and destroy a company, right? Be ethical about it. So why a lab, right? We're kind of reinforcing this now. A lab is a great testing environment, right? Because you own everything, and if it breaks, it breaks. Rebuild it. Who cares, right? It's not prod. It's not like it's a non-production, right? If you hear me say prod is short for production, right? Non-prod would be a sandbox, right? And it's legal, right? That's your biggest stuff. Those are going to be your biggest things. Um, Always what you want to make sure you're doing. Okay? So we're here at the game plan, right? We are going to be building all in VirtualBox, by the way, right? So if you don't have VirtualBox, I would recommend um, installing that as well. I don't really have a plan of explaining how to install VirtualBox, right? That's pretty straightforward. Once you have VirtualBox, you'll want to install your Kali VM. And we're going to be using Metasploitable 3. It's built by Rapid7. They're a really cool security team. And once we've got those two built, we're going to be configuring the sandbox environment or the non-prod environment. Okay? Tools needed: VBox, Kali Linux, VBox, and Metasploitable 3. Right? The reason I preface VBox behind Kali Linux is because Kali has a bunch of builds You can use an ISO, don't get me wrong. You can absolutely use an ISO. If you download their virtual box installer, everything's pre-configured for you, right? So it's just going to be a lot more out of the box, ready to go than an ISO would be. Okay? For our config, we're going to keep Kali at 2 virtual CPUs. That's what the V stands for, is virtual. 2 gigs of RAM, and then we're going to be doing NAT and host only. Okay, this is really important that Kali has NAT and host only. Okay, NAT would be basically your normal internet. Okay, so what your host computer uses for internet, it's going to pass along to your Kali VM. Metasploitable 3, we're going to dial it back because we don't really need a whole lot, right? This is going to be running headless. So really it just needs to be there for us to grab the volumes. Okay? We're going to tone it back to 1 vCPU, 1 gig of RAM, and really crucial, you only want to give it host. Only host, right? You don't want this to be able to talk to your host computer or the internet, right? Because these VMs are wickedly vulnerable. One of them is it's Windows Server 2008, right? So that's one of them. The other one is Ubuntu version 14, which came out in 2014. So around the same time period. Uh, little bit different. But anyways, um, so let's get into it. All right. So we're gonna keep this all on one video. So you're gonna have to bear with me while I switch us over to my Ubuntu, uh, which is right here. Boom. All right. Let me do this so that I can see it as well. And hopefully all works correctly. Oh my God, it's so dark for me, but it appears to be okay for you guys. So we're gonna keep it that way because I already know what I'm doing, so it's not too big of an issue for me. All right, so can you guys see that? Yes. Okay, that's kind of just a test. We don't really need Chrome. Well, I guess we can. Yeah, I'll show you. So if you go to Kali.org, okay, and you click Get Kali, and you select Virtual Machines, the virtual box is the one we're going to be using, right? They have a weekly download. Weekly might have a few bugs. Excuse me, sorry. The recommended will always be a stable version, or at least as stable as it can be for that time. You could use VMware, Hyper-V, QEMU. I think that's how you pronounce it. Doesn't matter, irrelevant. Uh, we're just using VBox. VMware is now paid for because I forget who bought VMware. Broadcom. Yeah, Broadcom ruined VMware. It's fine. Doesn't matter. We'll keep using VirtualBox, which is developed by Oracle, I believe. Yes, Oracle. So here's where you'd want to download VirtualBox, right? Unless you're using Linux. If you're using Linux, I assume you already know how to do this. If you don't, you can simply pull up your terminal. Wow, it's so big on this screen. Let's fix that maybe, yeah? A little better. Okay. If you just sudo apt install virtual box dash qt, boom, you're good to go. Okay? That's Linux. If you don't have Linux, I'm sorry, you have to click download. You have to pick your host, and it's a lot less easy. But you're also not using Linux, so it's your own fault. Anywho, Metasploitable 3, boom, Rapid 7, that's where you're gonna get it. Okay? You're gonna git clone this. Okay? If you're using a host that has um, GitHub Desktop, I think you could probably clone it through that. I don't know. I don't use desktop. I don't really know many people who do. Uh, but I suppose you could use it if you wanted to. It's Yeah. Anyways, it's up to you. It's your choice. Your PC, your choice, right? Uh, Anywho, here's your instructions. Okay. It's not too difficult. Okay. Once you get through these stages and you're getting Vagrant up and you're posting, you're great. You're golden. Okay. They're telling us different system requirements. I can confirm I have run it with less and it's been okay. If you want the most smooth operation possible, I would say do this. Right. You can get away with less though. Okay. Because I know there are PCs out there who probably can't handle that much RAM and that much space. You can get away with less. Okay. So let me pull up my terminal for you guys. Okay. So once you've got this stuff done, okay, you've installed it, wham bam. Okay. Let me go into documents. Uh, I think I put it in dark rice. Yeah, boom. So you can see I've got my Metasploitable workspace here. Okay. This is global. You don't need to be in the directory, right? We're in the home directory now, as you can see. Uh, if you just do Vagrant status, it's gonna pull up anything associated with Vagrant. Okay. So these are the two VMs that we're gonna be using today. UB 1404, that's gonna be your Ubuntu server. Okay. And then the Win 2K8 is gonna be your Windows Server 2008. Okay. So if you do Vagrant up, UB 1404, that's 12. We're now bringing it up. Okay. And theoretically, this should just work. It worked for me yesterday when I built the sandbox. Theoretically, it should just work. But we'll see. Already exists. Oh! I'm sorry. Don't do Vagrant up. Once you've done this part here and it says Vagrant up, don't you want to use Vagrant start after that? Because Vagrant up is what builds it. Once you've built it, you need to use Vagrant start. I'm sorry. That's all me, boys and girls. That's all me. Wait, what? Huh? All right. Now I'm confused. Well, it's not suspended though. Okay, let's do reload, maybe? Welcome to the troubleshooting. Okay, we're gonna do this the better way. So if we just open VirtualBox. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. I don't know what that one is. Don't use this one. Delete this. Remove. Boom. Okay, so we're just gonna start headless. Headless start, okay? Also headless start. Boom. Okay? And now Kali, you want to start regularly. Because you need to see in Kali. Don't run Kali headless. Don't do it. Bad idea. Bad juju. Okay. So, oh, I should have shown you some stuff in Oracle here. So, in Oracle VirtualBox, I had to sneeze. Sorry. Bless me. Anyways, in VBox, you can, well, assuming you're not started, right? I have NAT enabled. Don't do that. Tisk tisk. Don't do that. You want to make sure you have VBox net 0. Okay? This here will build it. Okay? When you do this, it will build net 0 for you. Okay? Now, I will say that when I built it for Windows, it built it on VBox 1. It created a VBox 1, which was not right, and I had to manually change it back to the correct subnet. Also in my README markdown file if you have issues. Again, if it's not in the markdown and you're still having issues, you could ask me. That's fine. I will not be upset. Anyways, so you have all of this stuff that you can look at if you really want. Okay? There's cool stuff in there for you to explore. So, okay, we have Kali up. Now, I did this one. Okay? So my default creds are Kali Kali. Okay? Is it secure? Not really, but it's also a VM, so we're not super worried. Okay? Now, once we're in here, all we're doing today is some basic stuff. Wow. Good morning. First of all, we're changing the background because this is ass. There. It's a little darker. A little better. Okay. Second thing we're doing today. We're going to ping. Okay? Pick. Now, I did this yesterday, so it's already pre-filled. Okay? We're going to start with 3. Dot 3 is going to be your Ubuntu server. Okay? Dot 4 is going to be your Windows server. All right? So if we, and in the C2, dash C2, all that means is that it's going to send 2 probes. Okay? Because Linux will go until you end. It will continuously probe until you tell it not to, right? Windows will probe 4 times and then stop, right? We only need 2, right? If we get 2, we're good, right? So I'm getting return, right, in 1.16 milliseconds and a little over half a millisecond, okay? So we know our Ubuntu server is up and we're able to talk to it, okay? Now, if we go to dot 4, boom, we're getting our return. Less than half a millisecond and under a millisecond. Okay? So my stuff is good. Grand. We're gonna do a quick nmap. This is gonna be in your uh, worksheet, right? So in addition to this lab thing, I'm also giving you a worksheet that you can follow along to if you want that, right? If you don't want to listen to me do this and you just want to watch the presentations and kind of follow along based off a sheet of paper, you can do that, right? Because I'm giving you that option. And, some people like that. So, and it's whatever people like, right? So, ping, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna ping our Ubuntu server with an nmap. We're gonna see what it does, just out of curiosity. Now, this command here, dash p dash, that's gonna scan every port. Every port that's open on this dot 3, Nmap's going to scan it. Okay. We will get more in depth with Nmap as we go, and I'll probably do a whole video just for Nmap. But for now, for sanity's sake, we're just going to do that because it's real simple. Okay. So we're about 20% done, about 2 minutes remaining. If you press the space bar on your keyboard, that's how you get this little status thing. Okay. And we're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. But now, another thing. If you decide to do this on bare metal, which means you've downloaded an ISO and you're installing it as your main operating system, you're more than welcome to do that. If you do Kali, I would recommend Kali Purple. It's going to give you some more options and it's going to be a little bit more flexible. It's still Debian based, right? It's just gonna have some more tools for you, more than blue would, more than the regular blue or regular red, right? Okay. I personally use Ubuntu for my daily driver. It's so subjective. Okay, whatever you want to use. If you want to use Windows 11, use Windows 11. It's all you. Whatever you want to use, you know. So we're almost done. 3 seconds. 2, 1, 0. Boom. All right. So just a little teaser for what's coming up. Okay. We've got a few ports open. We will discover those ports. I can't believe it, but my microphone died mid video. Criminal. Anyways, we will be exploring these ports in upcoming videos. Okay? Alright, so that's kind of your run through for today. Uh and yeah, I mean that's kind of about it for what we've got planned for this video. Anyways. Alright. So I do want to say thank you for watching. And I hope you enjoyed, you know. Like I said, this is very basic intro level stuff, hence the name 101. Uh and we're just kind of trying to get everyone on the same page, right? So, um, hopefully soon we'll be getting into some much cooler, more exciting, in-depth stuff. But we got to make baby steps. That way, everything is set up right and safe, and we're doing things whoa, dude, ethically. All right. So, with that said, thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one.